What's up, guys? So I wanted to talk a little bit real quick about cholesterol. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine who just had a physical. So he had blood work done and he comes home and he says, oh, the doctor said, I asked him how he did. Oh, the doctor said I'm going to go on a statin because my LDL cholesterol was a little high. So cholesterol is something in our body that we need, okay? If we don't have cholesterol, we die. Our body makes it and we can get some from food. Now, general wisdom says that if you eat food with cholesterol, it's the way a lot of people think. If you say eggs are known to have, a lot of cholesterol. So if you eat a ton of eggs, you're going to raise the cholesterol level in your body, and that cholesterol is going to flow to your heart, clog up your heart, and then we have a heart attack. That couldn't be further from the truth. So when we look at cholesterol, they give you two numbers. The LDL cholesterol, and you've probably heard the term, that's the bad cholesterol, and then we have HDL cholesterol, and they term that the good cholesterol. So generally, if your combined number, your total cholesterol is over 200, they'll tell you that that's high. The cutoff is 200. Now, some years back, that number used to be 300, and then they developed these statin drugs, and all of a sudden, magically, the cutoff became 200. So you're going to have a much bigger, pool of fish if you lower that number to 200 that you can prescribe statins to. Okay, so rather than what they'll normally do is they'll look at that bad number, that LDL number, and they'll say, well, that's high. You're going to have a heart attack. That's no good. That's not healthy. You need a statin to bring that number down. Again, that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth, because that's been debunked scientifically, that one number, just looking at that one number specifically, LDL, has nothing to do with heart disease, heart attack risk, or anything like that. What you want to do is, there are actually 3 ratios that you want to look at that are predictors of heart disease and things like that. So let's look at the 3, and I'm going to use my buddy's numbers that he got from the doctor. And again, I want you to keep in mind when we're doing this that he was told that he should start taking a statin, whether it was going to be Lipitor or Crestor, whichever one it was. It's a big scam. But anyway, let's go over the numbers. So we're going to look at the first ratio that you want to look at. And that number is going to be, we're going to take our LDL number, again, that what they call the bad cholesterol, and we're going to divide that by the HDL, okay, which is the good cholesterol. So in my buddy's case, he had an LDL reading of 175, and the cutoff for that, they say, is 100. So 175, that's high, you need a statin. Bullshit, and I'll tell you why. So let's take his LDL, the bad cholesterol, and we're going to divide it by the good cholesterol, which in his case was 73. Now the cutoff for that, for men, ideally you want your good cholesterol, the HDL, to be above 50, okay? His was 73. So we're going to divide 175 by 73. That number comes out to 2.4, okay? Ideally, we want that number to be below about 3.5. His number is 2.4. Perfectly fine. That's a great number to have. Now, let's say he had that same LDL, the same bad number of 175 for the bad, what they call the bad cholesterol, LDL. And his good cholesterol was lower than it should be, right? It was too low. Let's bring it down to about 30. So then we're going to do 175 divided by 30. That gives us about 5.8, which is way above the ideal number of 3.5. Okay, so that's not good. That's going to show that there's chances are you have some insulin resistance going on in your body, which means that you have high insulin. You're going to have high insulin levels, which then is going to mean that there's probably a lot of inflammation going on in your body, which is not good. All right, So that's the first ratio that we're going to look at. Now we're going to take it a step further, and we're going to look at the total cholesterol number, okay? And in my buddy's case, that was 305, okay? So the cutoff, so they say, is 200. His was 305. But again, we're going to divide that by the HDL. So we're going to now in this ratio, we're going to take the total cholesterol, and we're going to divide it by the good cholesterol, which is the HDL, which in his case is 73. All right, that comes out to 4.2. Now for this ratio, ideally we want it to be below 5, and the closer to 4, the better. His comes out to 4.2, which is an excellent number, a healthy number. It's not an indication of any problem at all, okay? So let's say, again, we keep that total cholesterol number of 305, and we're going to take his HDL again, and let's drop it down below where we want it to be, okay? We want that HDL number to be as high as possible, but let's say he's got a high total cholesterol, but his good cholesterol is low, and we'll give him, say, like a 35. So we divide the total 305 by the HDL, which is 35. We come out with 8.7, which is horrendous, okay? It's way above the 5 where we want to be. That is an indication of maybe some heart disease. It's not good, okay? That's a clear sign that you have to make some changes, okay? There's something wrong there. We don't want to see that. Okay, so now we did that, those two numbers. Now, this number is a true indicator of some heart disease and some serious heart problems on the horizon, okay? So with your blood work, you would want to take your triglyceride reading, which they say should be ideally below 100. So we're going to take that triglyceride, and again, we're going to use our HDL number, the good cholesterol. We're going to divide triglyceride by HDL, okay? And ideally, we want that number to be below 2, okay? So in my buddy's case, his triglyceride reading was 106, okay, which is right around that 100 mark, which is fine. And again, his HDL was 73, which is way above, where it should be. So he comes out with a 1.45, which is well below 2, and a clear sign that there's nothing going on as far as heart disease risk. Now, let's say he was running high triglycerides. He got a high triglyceride number. And at the same time, let's drop his good cholesterol down, his HDL, to say like 35, okay? And we do the math, and we divide the triglycerides again by the HDL, and we come out with a 5.7. A very clear sign that he's got some serious problems going on, and again, there's got to be some serious changes. A number like that is going to show that he is at risk of heart disease. So again, it just goes to show that you don't rely, it's not accurate to rely on just one number, that one LDL number, which most mainstream doctors will do. If you have a high LDL number, the first thing they're going to do is send you home with a prescription for a statin. Those drugs have side effects. They'll tell you that they don't. They'll tell you that they're perfectly safe. But any drug you put in your body has side effects. And there's absolutely no reason to be taking these drugs if you don't need them, okay? So am I telling you to go to your medicine cabinet and throw out all your medicine and say, well, I don't need it because some guy on YouTube told me not to do it? Well, absolutely not. I'm not a doctor, and I'm certainly not going to tell you to do that. But what I would tell you to do is to question your doctor, okay? If he's got you on a drug, you want to know exactly why you're taking it, exactly why. And if he's going to base it on that one number, well, you make sure you question him and say, what about this, and what about this? Okay? Don't just have blind faith and start swallowing pills because, you have one number that looks a little off in your blood work. Okay? Do the numbers and make sure that if you have to take the drug, and to be honest with you, all of these numbers that we're talking about are directly affected by the food that you eat, okay? Getting back to what I said first about the whole cholesterol thing, eating cholesterol and the cholesterol just floating into your heart and clogging your arteries, it's absolutely not true, okay? When we get back to the whole idea about the insulin, okay, if you eat a high carbohydrate diet with processed foods, junk foods and things like that, that drives high insulin levels in your body. High insulin levels in your body will cause inflammation throughout your body, including inside your arteries. So in real simple terms, what happens is the type of diet, if you eat a poor diet, a high processed foods, high amount of processed foods, junk foods, you drive inflammation in your body. It'll cause damage to your arteries. Almost look at it like almost if you have, like, you cause abrasions in your arteries, okay? Your body's very smart. So when that happens, when you have damage in the arteries as a result of your lifestyle and eating habits, okay, your body will actually send cholesterol. It's actually trying to patch up, trying to fix that damage that you're doing, okay? So that's what happens when you abuse your body. It's the cholesterol buildup, the plaque buildup. Your body actually sends calcium deposits and cholesterol to the arteries that are damaged to actually try and repair them. That's what causes the blockages, okay? So just some food for thought. Again, I'm not trying to tell you to walk into the office and tell your doctor to go to hell, but I want you to look at these numbers, look at the big picture. Don't just take their word for it, okay? Just because they say you need this drug, find out why, okay? And if they tell you that these numbers are bad, you know, all of them, if you have high triglycerides, low HDL, and high LDL, okay, let them tell you why that is. Not just, these are high, take pills, okay? Work backwards and find out why you're in a position that you're in, okay? So I hope that helps. My email address is going to be in the description if you want to shoot me an email. I'll actually send you these ratios and a little bit of an explanation on them. If you want to do that, just drop me a line by email and I'll send that over to you. All right, so give this a look, and thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.